So my geography teacher told me to name a country without an R in it, and I was thinking, and I just said no way. Yo, what is up, everybody? I love my cringiness. We got a banger of a video here today because we got some more Disc Priest content and we got the big damn content y'all waiting for. I did a solo shuffle guide on a more passive type build. Not the passive Disc, but a more passive build, and I'm going to go over some damage and how to do the big damn, because this was a build that I originally did for 2s, but with atonement buffs being so high, I'm actually using it in 3s and shuffle. It's actually not, it's crazy. So hear me out with this. This is mainly used for 2s, but if you do have the stats and the audacity, you can make this work in 3s and shuffle. All right, so hear me out. What we're gonna do really quick, the gear for this is just gonna be the same, except we're gonna be prioritizing a lot more haste. You need haste verse. Haste and verse. Mostly haste though, okay? My stats in PvP right now are 35 haste, 35 mastery, 37 verse. My other priest, I'm actually playing like 39, 30, 39 or something like that. So you need a lot of haste. That's literally the gist of it. You need a lot of haste, okay? I'm gonna give you two different scenarios for this. I do have a lot of PvE gear. You do not need this on my alt. I don't have any of this. I'm not using anything, and it feels just fine. It almost feels better because you're not, because some of this, like the firing, for example, has shitty stats. Like it has verse, but it doesn't have haste on it or mastery, so it's not like the most ideal. And I have like some other weapons and stuff. The Wither Tome is obviously a great choice, but definitely not mandatory. Okay. Other than that, as much haste verse as you can. I'm like in 35 is a sweet spot, but keep this in mind. If you cannot press your globals back to back in a 35% haste speed, do not go that high. It's a waste. Okay. The reason I'm playing so high is because I'm actually in the 3s build. At least I'm not actually playing borrow power, whatever the fuck it's called, borrow time. So I don't get that extra 12% haste that is really, really lovely. Because of that, I'm actually I dropped down to go for Visceral Reverie. I'll go with this build in just a second. But anyway, more haste. Okay, end of story. You can do whatever you want. Embellishments, I'm running Wither Tome and Mastery Enchant. What you can actually do is gear all haste verse and run double Mastery embellishments, and it feels pretty good. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do on my alt. Right now I have like the Infurious legs, which is also another option if you want to try that. But that is it for the gearing. For the talents, two different builds I want to show you guys. The first one is going to be just a straight up 2s build. The 2s build, I do change some things around frequently, but I'm going to give you just the gist of it. We're going for Words of the Pious for heavy smiting because you're going to be smiting a lot. This build works best with Ferals, Rogues, and Demo Locks. Okay? If you're playing with a warrior, it's not going to go well because you cannot keep smiting enough. Okay? This build has to have smiting. All right? If you're not smiting, it ain't good enough. Right? If you find yourself not playing a comp, let's say you pair your buddy that you play like with I don't know, a hunter, and you find yourself you're not able to smite a lot, don't play smite. Okay, drop these 3 points, put them elsewhere. You can go fade, mind games, improve fade, move a grace, whatever. Okay, so move those around if you'd like. On this side, what's important here is we got Blaze of Light for the big penances, because that is your majority of your damage. Twilight Equilibrium is going to be mandatory because that's how you're going to be pumping, and everything revolves around that. And then obviously Mindbender. Okay, one thing I do switch around sometimes is if I'm playing a comp that I can smite a lot, I'm going to play Sanctuary just because I have a lot of uptime with it. And it actually does a pretty nice healing if you are able to cast enough smites. Okay, otherwise Rapture. The reason I don't play Rapture mostly is because I'm not playing Mastery, I'm not playing big shields, so my shields are ass. So like Rapture doesn't really do that much. It's not that bad. Like I said, if I'm not playing I'm playing a random comp, sometimes I will still play it. But there it is for that. And then the only thing that's going to change in the 3s version of it is as you're gonna see, I swapped out I went for Abyssal Reverie. Dude, the healing on this is crazy. If you get, like, in the opener of some of these games, I go double Radiance proc, double Radiance, and then, you know, do my whole burst setup that I'm gonna show you guys, and like it completely tops your team, like from like 30%, not 30%, maybe like 50%. One penance can just top the entire team. It's crazy how much healing this does with it all, if you're doing it all correctly. One thing I do want to swap around with is I actually probably, I don't know why I even had that. I actually should play. Oh, that's why. This is probably what I need to be playing because I can't go to Castigation otherwise. Yeah, so this is what I'm probably playing. Plane Suffering, yeah. Cause I was like, I'm like, why do I not have borrowed time? You just, unfortunately, you can't play it if you do want to play Abyss of Reverie. You can kind of risk it for the biscuit and go for some borrowed time, but in threes and shuffle, it felt a lot better to play this because the healing was really good. You were able to keep the momentum going. And this does work for like your shadow smites and stuff during Mindbender, so it's really good. Other than that, so that is the two builds. There are a few points I moose around here and there, like, you know, for instance, like if you need MD, there's the 3 points that you toss around is like, and I have it right here right now for some reason, but I have 1, 2, and 3. You can kind of throw these 3 points wherever you want. You don't have to play Mind Control either. I just find it super clutch sometimes. You could actually drop that, go Void Shield, give you an extra point. But, you know, it's the same builds. I don't need to go into it. You guys know Disc. You can check out my other guide if you want more information on that. Okay. Other than builds, PvP talents, we're going to be sticking with the normal 3. So this is the baseline 3 that you run. Ultimate Radiance, Phase Shift, Inner Light, Shadow. You can always play Inner Shadow. Cool thing about this build is that it does work pretty well, and you don't actually oom as much as you think you would because you're playing super aggressive, but you have to play to your advantage. You play to the spec. If you do not play to the spec, it doesn't work. Okay, you got to fully commit 100 or 0. Okay, 100 miles an hour bust. All right. The alternative you have is Catharsis. Catharsis is fucking insane versus Affliction Locks. If you see an Affliction Lock on the other team, you are running this. Okay, there are some other comps like Double Casters I will run it into. And the damage / healing is ridiculous. Okay, this was a game I just queued into Boomy Ellie, right? Actually, no, it wasn't this game. It was the game before. Yeah. Like this was an Affliction Lock Ellie game. Catharsis did 900k healing. These are causing your atonements to do insane. Like, you know, these 250 atonement heal, 177 atonement heal, you're getting massive atonements from Catharsis, and it does an insane amount of damage as well on top of it. You just gotta make sure you're throwing in those Purge of the Wickeds every now and again. So that is it for all of that. We are obviously running 4 set. Yeah, okay, now to how it works. How are you doing damage? Okay, I'm gonna just give you the burst rotation because that's really all it is, and then you just rinse and repeating this. If you can free cast, you do this rotation faster. If you can't, you gotta kind of move around. And let me preface this with your positioning is extremely important when you're playing this, okay? If you are in a bad position and you're gonna get kicked, you're gonna fail. If you get stopped on these Mindbenders, you're gonna fail. All right, you need to make sure that your positioning is in check and you're not gonna get CC'd before you do these goes, because if you waste your Mindbenders, this spec is completely useless, okay? So, typically what I will do is I will open the game with Double Radiance. I will dot the first target. I will PI my teammate, Mindbender, and then I'm going to do this sequence because of Twilight Equilibrium. We gotta alternate Shadow and Holy, but specifically it's only really important for the penances. Otherwise, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to Double Radiance, like I said, to get the proc, PI, Mindbender. Then I'm going to Mind Blast, Smite, Penance, Death. The Death is just to extend the duration of the Mindbender. We don't care about the damage. And then you're going to spam Smites until you get until your Penance comes back. With Train of Thought, your Shadow Smite is double dipping, and you're getting 1 second cooldown reduction on Penance every time you cast it. If you get a lot of uptime with this much haste, as you can imagine, you could actually fit in 3 Penances, Dark Reprimands. And by the time the third one is done, Mindbender is going to be up again, and you're going to do it again. Okay? So, it's extremely deadly if you can get these free casting, okay? That's why your positioning is so important. Stay out of the fight. Don't bother with anything but pumping, okay? And make sure your teammates know that, especially if it's like a threes team. Them is peeling for you to not get CC'd is the most important thing. All right, here we go. So let's run it up. So I open the gates. I'm going Double Radiance. I'm going to PI my teammate. I'm going to Mindbender. I dot the guy. Mind Blast into Smite, into Purge of or Dark Reprimand, into Death, and now I spam Smites. 1, 2, 3. Reprimand again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get to go again. Throw in another Death. My dot's coming off. Mindbender's up once again. What are we gonna do again? Rinse and repeat once again. Okay, that is it. If you do this correctly, you are going to have like an insanely high uptime. This is obviously not realistic. And make sure that you are just throwing out some radiances here and there between, just to keep up your atonements. But if you are getting a lot of these smites off, because of the tier set, you're extending your atonements so fast. like when you get that first PI go, if you initially start your teammates up with an extended duration atonement, so not just the Radiance one, like a Power Shield or Renew one, you will not have to reapply it during that burst window. All of those smites are going to extend all of those atonements, and it's going to be extremely easy, and you're just going to pump with so much momentum. Like some of these games, I was just queuing some threes. Like I'm doing nearly as much damage as a Boomkin here. Curse of the Wicked, Dark Reprimand, smites just going off. PvE gear is not that important, obviously it does a bit, but you're able to absolutely juice. This guy, I haven't been playing it this build in Soul Shovel, but I'm 23, 24 MMR at the moment on my other priest. I'm seeing if I can get 2400 playing that build with a lot of haste. Okay, so we're gonna make it work. Outside of that, dude, it's just kind of maintenance work. If you ever have any downtime, just farm up smites on a target. Okay, and then you're doing those goes. That's all that matters, is those goes. Okay, in between that, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can mime, you can just throw in regular penances. Just keep pressing buttons. Okay, you need to keep the momentum. You cannot hide. Play to the advantage of the build. All right, really quick here, I'm going to show you a quick example. Sorry, I did not have this prepared. I'm actually just going to show that game that we just played, that game that's on that details right there. Okay, this is kind of how it goes. So in the opener here, where we PI'd our target, we're going to go Mind Bender, Mind Blast. He actually grounds it. We throw the Dark Reprimand. And then we're just going to start spamming damage out of that. We actually dispelled on the root beam. It was kind of convenient. And now I got to go back to spamming. Doesn't matter if you're kind of scared. We just got to keep going into it. Got clone. This is a terrible example, guys. I'm sorry. Towards the end of the game, I end up just fucking popping off. So actually, no, this is a great example. What am I saying? Look at my positioning. It's butt cheeks. I'm in the middle of the map. I'm getting CC'd. What do I got to do? I got to get to that pillar, man. So I'm going to try to rotate back to that pillar. Stay out of range. I need to, and I'm just smiting the crap. So look at all these smites, extending all these atonements. And I'm just spamming those smites, getting my Mind Bender back, reducing the cooldown of my penances. Use penance on cooldown, smite in between. All right, here's my next Mind Bender. Hugging the pillar here. Gonna try to run back here so that I don't get cloned. Poking in and out. Okay, smiting, throwing a Mind Blast, smite into big penance. Once again, and now we death them, and then back to spamming smites. Gonna get my atonement up first. Make sure you got atonements up. Okay, and then we go back to smiting. Just going to throw in penance on cooldown, because remember, those penances are reducing the cooldown of your Mind Bender as well. Everything you press is going to reduce the cooldown. Okay, keep up the atonements. Got kicked there, unfortunately. Continuously dotting. Okay, I'm going to throw a little thing on him. And we're going to rinse and repeat again. I'm going to Mind Bender. Here we go again. What am I going to do? Mind Blast. I just threw a dot in there because the Catharsis was pumping. But that's it. And like I could just keep some insane momentum, especially if you play a comp that helps you out with it. And that's a great example for it. So hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.